Hello from Idaho. I strive to provide interesting videos about motorcycles, fabrication, welding, electronics, machining, and general creativity. I hope you enjoy. Hello from Idaho. Just so you know, getting old isn't for sissies. You get all these ideas and you get all this ambition, but you got to be so careful about moderation of what you do, because you don't want to hurt yourself and be out of commission for a while. And so I bought myself a new tool. I had one before when I was living on the ranch, but I let it go when we moved into this smaller shop. And it is for working on the top side of a vehicle, specifically taller vehicles like a Jeep or a truck or something where, you know, the hood hits you like right here or so. I don't need it on little front wheel drive cars or whatever, because I can stand in front of it and reach all the way to the back. But so I'll insert a picture here that'll have it make more sense. And this is a thing off of Amazon, and I know people give Amazon a lot of crap, but usually they have a wide range of qualities and a wide range of prices. And if you always buy the cheapest thing that they have, yeah, you may get crap. But if you're getting crap off of Amazon, it's because you're not a very good shopper. This thing will do everything I need and everything I want, and fold up and get out of the way when I'm not using it. So I'm going to be pretty happy with it. I got a couple of little baskets here that I'm going to attach to the side, and they're kind of squishy, so when I roll this thing into something, these won't break like a hard plastic one. Basically, you need someplace to put your tools or your parts or your bolts or whatever. So I'm going to go into a time lapse now where I just put this thing together. It's not very complicated. You get a one-page instruction sheet that basically just names all the parts and kind of shows you an exploded view. But there's no need for me to talk you all the way through it, and it's also pretty boring if I do it in real time, so I'm going to speed you guys up to do some time lapse. Okay, it's together. I still have caster wheels to put on the bottom, and I got to go through and tighten up all the bolts. But you kind of get the idea here now. Of course, you already saw it in the picture, but basically you've got steps that you can stand on and put your waist here and bend over at the waist and lay on the shelf. I haven't done it yet, but I plan to put these here, one on either side, to hold tools, parts, bolts, etc. But I won't drill those holes until I actually try it out on the Jeep, just in case I want to send it back for some reason. But we're getting fairly close. There's a hitch pin that goes in these holes here, so you can get it. This is the lowest position. You can get it a lot higher. You can get it, almost 5 feet tall by pushing this. So this piece here slides into this piece, and so it can telescope out, and then you put a pin in on either side to hold it. Anyway, that's the theory. Should be easier to get to the things on the truck and the Jeep that are way back by the windshield, where you have to crawl over or lay on the whole engine, which may not be as clean as you like, or may have pointy things that are not very comfortable to lay on. And so I've had one of these before. They are really the cat's meow for a lot of jobs. And I've got a job on the Jeep I want to do that where this is going to make it easy. And so that's all for now until I get the wheels on, get it tightened up, and get it in use. Well, it's been a couple of weeks, but I'm back. And my overhead creeper has evolved based on some things that I learned when I had the old one, and a couple of new ideas I've had. And it works famously. It'll probably be included in the video of me working on the Jeep. But at any rate, this is a low-cost Amazon purchase. You can buy them from like $160 all the way up to $450 and beyond. They're all basically the same. They all have basically the same weaknesses as well. And so I've got a notepad here of the things that I've changed. So for my particular Jeep, I knew that this one was going to be too tall at its lowest setting, so I have shortened it so that the lowest setting is about 41 inches, and then it goes up another 24 inches or so. So that'll cover the range of things that I have. Right now my Jeep is as low as it's ever been. It's got a 25-year-old suspension that is smashed flat. The rear springs actually have a negative arch in them, and in fact that's what all this pile of stuff is right here on the end of my welding table, which is a new coils, new springs, adjustable control arms, adjustable track bar. So we'll get it back to its original height plus another 3.5 inches. At any rate, that's for another day. But at any rate, I'm showing it to you at its lowest height right now, just so I can get it in the field of view. I told you this before, by removing this pin and the one on the other side, this piece here slides in and out of this larger rectangular tubing, and so it'll go up quite a bit. So I knew that I was going to have to do that. That's not really any fault of the overhead creeper. I'm not using topside, by the way, because that's actually a trademark of the name of a high-end creeper, a topside creeper, and so I'm using overhead as my term. At any rate, now on to some of the things that I fixed. These, pretty much all the creepers have 3 bolts right here, and this this cushion is fixed. And that's great in one position, but I'll get to those in a moment. But if you lower it down to one of its lower positions, this thing's just barely fits on my welding table. You can see now you're headed downhill. And so my solution was to remove the bolts out of here and only put one bolt in the corner here. And that way when I remove this pin, then I can raise this up to a proper height to level it again and put my pins back in. And so I've got I took the original arm that went here, which was just a piece of square tubing, and I added to it at a 35-degree angle, and then put bolt holes in for the 3 positions of the foot. And so this is the middle position right here. I just welded some rectangular tubing on and put a gusset in, and then this bolt doesn't get tightened all the way. I've got it thumb tight with Loctite, and then the pins go in here to ensure that it stays wherever I put it. And then this goes over to the other side. So I bought a couple of extra hip pins for this. I'm still using, in fact, that's the original hip pins. I went ahead and bought bigger ones for down here because I still need the height adjustment. And so that's a nice feature, to be able to have this leveled out no matter which one of these 3 foot positions or the angle of this part that you use. And the other thing I did is to extend this cushion out past this supporting structure as far as I could, and still use the original holes to get the body out a little bit farther over the engine bay. This may or may not be enough. Once I use it a lot more, I'll know whether I want to put a longer cushion on it. Some of the high-end ones come with a cushion that's about 18 inches long. This one's about 15. So we'll see how that goes. One of the other weaknesses of all of this type of overhead creeper is these corners are very sharp. And so I just took and rounded them off so that they're easy on me and on my clothing. Let's see, what's one of the other things I did is that these holes along here for adjustment are were every 4 inches, and so I put intermediate holes, so now the height adjusts in 1 inch increments, which is going to make it easier to get it in the right place for use for whatever vehicle I have. One of the other things about this type of creeper is there used to be a bar that went between these bolt holes to stiffen the legs. But a lot of times when you use it, you want the front wheel to be turned. Let's say you're working on the driver's side. You want the front wheel to be turned all the way to the driver's side, and then the front wheel can go all the way up into here. So I moved the tie bar back here so that the front wheel can go up in this position, so you can slide it up. There has been a recent development in these overhead creepers where one company, the topside creeper I talked about, is now making I-beam base. So it has a wide bar here, a single bar down the middle, and a wide bar in the back. That helps with the front tire conundrum. And I haven't used one, so I can't say whether it's better or not. But it seems like in some situations it would be better. That was not a consideration that I was willing to do on this particular one. That's a lot of cutting and welding and new material and whatnot that I wasn't prepared to do. I'm not going to make my living with this thing. In fact, I'll probably use it twice a year. But it's a very useful thing to have. Okay, what other things? One of the things, maybe I should insert a picture about here. But one of the things that is in original trim, these things don't fold down very well. They still remain about 15 inches thick. So when you put them up against the wall, they use all that space. So one of the things I did is to raise this pivot point from the center of this bar up 4 inches. And so that means when it folds down, this bar no longer hits here. But the problem with all the commercial ones except for one, the latest topside creeper, is this thing still hits, so you can see it's still wide. And so with these pins in here, they have another duty. Pull out the pin and let this thing go forward, and then use one of the old existing bolt holes, which I can't see from here. Here we go. To pin well, damn it, there went my Indian Scout coffee cup. Okay, I'm back. Got my mess cleaned up. I got my old Harley cup out of retirement and hot coffee. So here we go again. For anybody that's counting, I think that's 3 coffee cups that I've destroyed. One might say, why don't you get one of those vacuum bottle cups? And the answer is, I don't care for them. I like ceramic mugs for some reason. And I just ordered up a new one with my own photos on it of the Scout. It will replace the nice mug that my wife got me. At any rate, let's get back on this a little bit. What I was trying to show you is that this cushion on top can be flipped up for storage. I use one of the 3 bolt holes as a pivot, and luckily enough, one of the others lines up for me to store this thing. You can see how flat it gets. And so when I gotta take my pins out. Actually, I guess that's a good time to talk about it. I made these pins just out of a piece of all thread and a lock nut that lock this bar into these little slots. And the reason I do that is because I don't care for the locking casters. They come on the unit and they may be handy at some point, but in general, when I'm up on a vehicle leaning over it, I may not have access to the full thing. Let's say I'm working on a vacuum line that runs across the car. Well, I can set my overhead creeper up so that I can reach the right hand side of it, and then by pulling myself across, the wheels will roll. I can reach the left hand side. The problem comes when you push yourself back. When you push yourself back without these little pins in there, why, this thing can actually fold over and fall over backwards, which I really wouldn't want to do. And so I just drilled a couple of extra holes, 3 extra holes, one for each pin location, so that I can steer myself around the engine bay without ever having to get off of the creeper. Okay, now back to me showing you how flat this thing lays down. So with this thing tipped up and pinned, and my pivot points raised up 4 inches so that this apparatus now clears the bottom. Well, this thing lays down very flat. About roughly 7 inches or so. And so I'll just put a bungee around it, lean it up against the wall in my shed, and take it out for the times when I need to use it. One other thing I didn't explain very well, after I broke my mug and made my mess, I went back and watched the video that I'd already captured, is that this thing gets taller. This thing gets taller by putting pins in these holes. And so you've got 3 pin locations on the fixed portion and a whole bunch on the movable portion. When I bought it, the pins holes were 4 inches apart. You can see they're a little bit oval shaped. But I went ahead and drilled them every 1 inch apart. So now, throughout the whole range of its movement, I can get finer adjustments. Because sometimes it's a balancing act between getting the creeper just the right size to go over the engine, but not too high because you have to reach down fairly far. I've got to put a crank position sensor in the Jeep, and it's on the bell housing. It's actually a little bit easier to get to if you come to from the top, but I'll be laying on the creeper, but I still have to reach down pretty far. So not having too much space between the valve cover of the Jeep and the bottom of the creeper will allow me to reach deeper. So the 1 inch increments is going to be useful. And when you raise it back up again, that bar goes back in the slots, and I can put my pins in to lock it. So let's see. So take a break right here. So the next thing I want to talk about is something that none of the creepers have that you can buy commercially. And that is protection for your vehicle. Okay. This piece of Naugahyde here, I put on to protect my vehicle. Even the very best overhead creepers that you can buy don't have this feature. Some of them have, like right here on this bar here, they'll have a pool noodle kind of thing that goes across. But if your vehicle hits the creeper here or down here somewhere, these things can mark up your bumper, your headlights, your grill, your valance. Your headlight header, and so this Naugahyde is pop riveted to a piece of 1-inch strap across here, and then I use these Christmas tree fasteners. They're the kind of fasteners that hold on your upholstery. You can get them at any auto parts store. You can order them in bulk. I think 100 of them is like $3 or something like that off of Amazon. And they come in all manner of sizes, shapes, heads, lengths. At any rate, I drilled a dozen holes across this bar here and put in a dozen Christmas tree fasteners in all these places across here. And that way, even if one of these touches the vehicle, it won't mar. And on the bottom, because this thing gets taller and shorter, the bottom is free to slide. I made this U-shaped bracket to slide on this square tubing, and just pop riveted the Naugahyde to it. So now when I roll it up against my vehicle, this thing will be between anything on the vehicle and any metal on the creeper. It has to be baggy like this so that when you fold it up, there's enough Naugahyde to allow it to move straight out. But this will save my vehicle. I think I got a remnant for like $7 for this piece right here. Could have been $7.99. I don't remember. And then all the places that I cut, ground, welded, I've just repainted with Rust-Oleum truck bed paint. And so the places where I've painted are not very obvious. And it's a tool, I don't really care, but I don't want it to rust. And so that's kind of the long and the short of my little creeper here. Like I said, I bought it off of Amazon knowing it was too tall, and so I cut it down. And based on research and my own use, we got a typical Idaho spring going on here. It may be a few inches of snow one day and then 60 degrees the next day. So here a couple weeks ago it was really nice out, but now there's snow everywhere. So that's why we're doing this video inside and not on my Jeep. At any rate, I hope this video helps somebody. These creepers are really handy. They're pretty special use for people with tall trucks or Jeeps or you know, construction equipment or whatever. But if you don't have to pay $500 for one, and you only have to pay like $160 or $170, they begin to be more of a tool that someone could afford, even for 2 or 3 uses a year. And so that's why I do these videos. I think I've produced 50 odd videos by now, and each one is about helping others with the kind of problems that I run into when I motorcycle or weld or work on my car or whatever. So anyway, that's about it. We're supposed to be getting more snow, but then some nice weather. So I plan to put this thing to use, replacing my crank position sensor on the Jeep. And like I said, I hope this video helps somebody. And goodbye from Idaho. Thanks for watching. As usual, if you like or dislike my video, please select the appropriate button and let me know why. I really appreciate comments and I will answer every one. If you're new to my videos, please select the subscribe and the notification bell to get more videos like this.